Hi, everybody. It's Pat Love from eXp Realty. I'm here today with Tracey Lundell of Seaglass Wealth. Hi, Tracey. How are
Hello.
you doing?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me today. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for taking time out of your day. I see that you've told me you're in the office. So,
Oh, it's exciting. I'm not always in the office, but today was a special day. So,
not anymore. None of us are in the office. I'm in
Mhm.
my nice fake background living room.
That's not your actual living room?
No.
Oh, there you go.
I've learned a lot about this sort of thing. I have a green screen behind me.
That's brilliant. I don't. I actually painted my walls so that it could look like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I actually, and everyone will love this. I actually have a green coffee mug. So if I drink from it, it picks up the living room.
That's kind of awesome.
It is. It is. I'm learning all sorts of things from the pandemic.
Yes.
Okay. So why don't you share a little bit about your story and how you got into the business and what it is that you do?
Sure. So my goodness, I've been in the business a very long time. I kind of fell into it actually. When I was going to university, I worked at Canada Trust as a teller, and that's where I started my career in the financial industry, with plans to become a diplomat and join the Foreign Service, which obviously did not happen. But that's a-okay because we actually love the things that we're doing now. So when I graduated, I ended up staying with the bank, and I've been in the financial services and advice giving industry since 1990. So just a little while now, but it's been great because I mean, lots of things happen over that period of time, and to actually have lived through them in a professional kind of capacity has been really helpful for helping our clients. So Seaglass Wealth, we offer advice to clients who are business owners, self-employed, or regular employed. There's not really a distinction for that sort of thing, but we specialize in the planning side of things. So a big piece that we've been focusing on lately is that intergenerational wealth transfer. So the government likes to take a lot of taxes when you're passing money from like grandparents to parents to grandkids. And in this day and age, like the three generations is just kind of standard. We've got lots of seniors who are very busy and active, and we've got their kids who are approaching retirement, and then we've got their kids who are just starting out in life and buying homes and doing all that kind of stuff, starting families. So I think there's a lot of advice that can be given or offered to families when it comes to the financial side of things, whether it's passing along wealth, whether it's retirement, estate planning, we do some of that too, and then just taxes. People don't even realize actually how the structures of what they own financially, how the tax side of things can actually eat into their money more than just good or bad investments. So I would say that that kind of in a nutshell is the kind of planning that we've been doing lately.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Yeah, a lot of people, as you say, are getting their down payments from the other generations, and it's
Yeah.
you know nobody does really know. It's hard to find people who can answer those questions easily. You think you can do a Google search, but I find
Hmm.
the government websites very difficult to understand. And
Yeah.
if you phone and get advice, like, ah,
After an hour and a half.
well, after you wait that long, and then they don't really ever answer your question either.
No. Well,
So
and it's a big picture too. I mean, they might know their little tiny piece of that puzzle, but I think that often you need that bigger picture where you step back from it all and kind of it's that whole get out of the weeds piece, I guess. And you can see how all the different decisions can have an impact. And there's usually more than one route or path that people can take.
mhm.
But it's kind of just having someone know the questions to ask, I guess, of families and how assets are transferred between generations is important, but even just structuring things for yourself or your own family, that the tax implications of that, they're just so much more complex than they ever have been. Like CRA does not make things super easy for everybody, but there are some really kind of key things that people can do to make sure they get more money in their pocket.
Okay.
And yeah.
So
It's
everybody call Tracy, try to protect your money from the government.
yes, please. Yes,
So
we'd be happy to help. It's what we like to do.
Tracy, this is all about community and whatnot, and I know that you do a lot of volunteer work. So why don't you share a bit about the volunteer work that you do?
Oh my gosh, I do. I do a lot of volunteer work. And it's interesting because I thought that it would, well, it's just different, I guess, in the pandemic than it was before, but it's equally as busy as it ever was. So I love my seniors. So I do a lot of volunteer work around our elder population. So I sit on a board for CARP, for the Canadian Association of Retired Persons. Although I'd have to say half the people that are members aren't even retired yet. So the retired thing, whatever. But so I sit on that board, and there's a lot of good advocacy pieces that come into play with that. So I've actually been able to sit down with MLAs to advocate on various issues. That's been kind of exciting and relates even back to the degree that I took in university. So
There
that
you
was
go.
kind of fun. I'm also on the Burnaby Seniors Resources Society board, and that's a little different. It's more about education and making sure that knowledge gets out there in the community, and it actually expands out to most of the Fraser Health Authority, even though it's centered in Burnaby. On the North Shore, well, you and I together are part of that Vancouver Senior Service Experts group, and it's kind of similar, I would say, to the Resources Society, because it's about education and knowledge and making sure people have access to what they need there. But I also have a big passion on just the financial empowerment for women side of things. So I mentor women who are graduating from the SFU entrepreneurship program in getting their businesses off the ground. And obviously I'm providing kind of the financial structure when they're building their business plans, and if they need to borrow money, helping them figure out how to actually access that sort of kind of capital. Yeah, and even with the kids as well, actually, because I sit on a Kiwanis board, and I mentor kids in high school, and I'm part of the junior achievement program. That's kind of on hold this year because you're supposed to actually go into the classroom and teach entrepreneurship skills, but that's kind of been on hold this year, but all those other programs are all still happening. So busy times.
Wow. Wow.
I know, hey?
I've known you for so many years and I didn't know all those things. So I like it when I learn something new. So um, this is also about North Vancouver.
Yes.
And I know that you were raised here.
I
So
was born and raised.
why don't you share what you like about North Vancouver and share any hidden gems that you would like other people to know about, like restaurants or businesses or trails or what you like to do?
Okay. Oh my goodness. Well, I love the North Shore. I sadly don't live there now, but I will live there again one day. But my entire family is still there. So I grew up in the Upper Lonsdale area and went to Argyle and went to Capilano University before it was a university. So my goodness, I love, a lot of my family lives in that Lower Lonsdale area. So we spend a lot of time down at the shipyards, especially it's been nice in the pandemic because they changed that ice rink into that kind of meeting area, and it's been covered. So I've been able to actually see my elderly parents from afar. They would hate me describing them as elderly. They're not.
Of course.
They are super active and young, but it is nice to be able to go because we're not technically in each other's bubbles. So we're outside and we can kind of see each other and have loud conversations from many feet away. But that's been amazing during this pandemic to have that. But even pre-pandemic, I love that whole area. I love that it's all kind of coming to life because it wasn't like that. My first job was at Bumpkin's Country Chicken at Lonsdale Quay, and it's come an awfully long way since then. I think I was 15 at the time. So there you go.
Yeah, well, I'm old enough to remember when they built the Lonsdale Key. That's sad for me.
Well, no, I think it was pretty shiny and fresh when I started working down there. So I
Mhm.
think I can say I remember that too. Maybe not the construction of it, but the launch of it for sure.
Yeah.
But and Anatoly Souvlaki is like our family destination. We kind of walk in and everybody kind of knows what we're going to have, and it's kind of fun. So it's good. I love that whole part of North Vancouver. It's just come such an awfully long way. But Lynn Valley is kind of where I grew up, and even that has changed so much.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So much
mhm,
construction, tons of
yeah.
construction.
But the headwaters would be probably my favorite trail to take. Not so much this time of year, bit a bit cold,
Yeah.
but yeah, anything along there is wonderful. And then just hiking up. We have so much great shorefront and mountains. Oh my goodness, the North Shore is the best.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like it. I'm a little partial to it. Okay,
Yeah, well, me too.
well that gives us a good idea of who you are and what you're all about. I'd like to thank you very much for taking the time. And everybody, if you need any financial advice, Tracy's your girl. I have attended, of course not during the pandemic, but nice little meetups that Tracy and her partners have, just helping women with their financial questions and whatnot. And
Hmm.
nice wine and cheese parties, and hopefully one day we can have them again. So
Yes, and we're
I,
trying to find a way to do those virtually.
yeah,
So
yeah,
stay
yeah.
tuned for that.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
thank you, Tracy, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Okay. Thanks very much, Pat.